just wanted to check on two things. One, Tulane, right now, is that everything from what you gather, everything's a go for that game? Though you were waiting until Monday to see what they did practice-wise.
Yes.
And secondly, I don't know if you saw it, but last week there was a story that came out from CBS where they said 1 in 4 coaches were against playing conference tournaments. I was wondering where your stance was in terms of the COVID and if your team's in the tournament or feels good about it, about not playing in a tournament if that was an option in the conference tournament.
Yeah, I would be for it.
Is there, for teams, is there just a value to that in terms of staying fresh, keeping things going, getting as many games in as possible?
Well, it's the COVID era. I think that affects everybody differently. I think it affects the way you look at certain things. I didn't see the article, so I'm not really aware of what you're talking about. But as far as I'm concerned, I can see some of the Power 5 schools that would feel that way. But our league will have schools that tournament's really important to them. So, but things change. Who knows? I mean, right now, it would be hard for me to say what I'm gonna feel like a month from now. But right now, I would think that we're scheduled to play our conference tournament when the regular season ends. That's what we plan on doing.
We'll go to Mark Berman. Mark, go ahead.
Kelvin, everybody on this call knows exactly how you feel about rankings, about AP coaches poll. But what about, I don't know if you've been specifically asked about the NCAA Division I net rankings, which list you as a number 4 team in the nation. Do you have some specific thoughts about that or from that point?
No. Mm-hmm. No thoughts at all. I mean, what thought would I have?
List you as one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Well, it's based on the net ranking. So got practice today at 3. That's something I can control. Hopefully we'll get through practice today and leave tomorrow to go to Tulane. I mean, we've been here before. Weren't we ranked number 4 a couple of years ago? This late in the season.
My memory's not very good.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to Greg Bailey with KTRK. Greg, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. It hasn't been too awfully long. We were talking about on this date we would have played a whole bunch more games, and we don't really know where we are. You sure look like you've got a lot of things going well. Do you have a great feel for a lot of things that you're doing well, and I'm sure things that you want to improve as you guys hit maybe what would be the home stretch here?
Well, every year is the same to me. When you're winning, more people pay attention. You get questions that are really insignificant to a coach in the big picture. We go to practice every day. I have, the way we play is a byproduct of what we emphasize, what we work on. And there's an expectation, and there's accountability, and then there's standards. I think those 3 things are all important to me. I expect us to be able to play a certain way. Every coach is different. There's no right way or wrong way. It's just your way. We have a way that we want to play, and there's an accountability to that every day in practice. And then you create standards by how you practice. Practice for us may be different than some other teams. I've never seen another college team practice. I don't know how other college teams practices. But watching Alabama play, I got a good idea what they work on. watching Tulane play. I have a good idea what they work on. If you watch us play, you probably have a good idea what we work on. But you know, there's an expectation that you get good at it. That's why we're practicing. You know, but during the course of the season, you try to bring guys along. Like one of the guys I really liked yesterday in practice was Jamal Shedd. You know, he was really good yesterday. He's our freshmen are coming along. But Kieran Powell's getting better. Jaywan Roberts is getting better. Tremont Mark is getting better. Jamal Shedd is moving forward. Now, those 4 freshmen are, you know, Dejan and Quentin, Bryson, Justin, Marcus. You know, I work with that unit a lot, but as the season goes on, later we get in the season, I focus a lot on our freshmen too. You know, like this time last year, you know, I was spending a lot of time with Marcus and Caleb. But I really like this freshman class. You know, we've got 4 good freshmen, and they're getting better. And of course, they're going to be freshmen next year too. So some of these kids will have 5 years. Some of them you may only have 4. It just depends. But you know, we measure ourselves. You know, how other people measure us obviously is irrelevant to us. But for us, we measure ourselves by how hard we work and the improvements we're making. You know, if you see our improvement, it's because that's what we're doing in practice every day, and that's why we work to get better. You know, I don't know how many you guys were here when I got here 7 years ago, but I know Joseph was. But Joseph's heard me say this 100 times. We're going to be a lot better in December than we were in November. We're going to be a lot better in January than we were December, and we're going to be a lot better in February. That's just the way we are every year. I don't think this year is any different than last year. Players are different, but the system's not.
All right, we'll go to Chris Gardner, please. Chris, go ahead.
You're muted, Chris.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
There we go. Little brain cramp there. Coach, the matchup at USF has been rescheduled. The conference announced that. In terms of that, was that more?
Actually, we announced it because we rescheduled it.
Also, I was going to ask you, was it more between you and USF or the conference doing it?
No,
based on what y'all do?
Conference doesn't make decisions for the schools. They just announce it. This is all between the coaches. The conference is, it goes through a conference, but we just tell them we've done it, so they tell you.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could cut out the middleman and we do it, but it looks better if the conference announces it, right?
And then talking about facing Tulane again on Thursday.
Yeah. You know, for us, it's just keep pounding the rock. You know, there's some things that I felt like we can get better at. There's some, I mean, when I say there's things we need to get better at, there's a lot of things we are getting better at. You know, we're obviously there's a reason we've won 6 in a row and we're 13-1, 8-1. I get all that. But if you're not focusing on getting better in practice, and those are very vague words, but they're real to me. You know, when I'm on the plane on the way home and I have the game on, they put it on my laptop as soon as the game's over. So when I get on the bus to go to the plane, you know, the first thing I do is mute it and I just watch the game and I take notes and I focus on every mistake we make. And if there's a pattern of those mistakes, then that's something I write down and I say, we need to work on that. Obviously I know what we're doing good because I know what we emphasize, but you know, when we go to practice every day, we started off with a film session. And in that film session, we have what we're emphasizing today. You know, like Tulsa, we played some 3-2 zone. I think we played some 3-2 zone the first time we played them. But you know, those are things you don't know if you're going to use them, but there's always things you work on. Like there's 4 seconds and under, there's under 4 seconds. There's 4 seconds left in the game or less. And the ball goes out of bounds on the baseline and the score's tied. What are you going to run? Well, you don't get to the timeout and start thinking, well, what do you think we should run here? You better practice that every day. Now, you may never need it, but you need to be prepared. What if you need a 3? What are you going to run? You know, you don't throw it in and turn around, flip up a hook shot, hope it goes in. You try to get a look. You know, teams are down and they're man-to-man pressing us and they're got a man on the ball and they're up denying everything in bounds. What are you going to run? Okay, you got a man on the ball and they're in a 1-2-1-1 zone press. That's different than a man press. What are you going to run? So we work a lot on late game situations, just so if something pops up, we can be prepared. You know, I'll give you a good example of that. Our first year here, we played Connecticut. We played 40 minutes. They were the defending national champions. That's one of my favorite games because we only had 1 turnover the entire game. And that's when Chicken stepped in bounds, he didn't look before he started his passing motion, and he saw that the guy was covered and he stepped in bounds. At least it was a dead ball turnover. But late in that game, we got the ball on the side and needed to run something. I didn't need to draw up a new play. It was just a reminder that we were going to run, we call it line 4, which was a lot of false motion into an ISO for Devontae Pollard. You know, the fact that we had worked on that play countless times, our kids were very confident. We ran it, Devontae drove it, got fouled, made both free throws, and extended our lead. But those situations have not come up yet for us. In the Tulsa game, it did actually, and we got a good shot. I think it was Caleb hit a baseline jumper that put us up 1. That's a situation there that we had prepared for. So that was a late game situation we prepared for. Ball doesn't go in, it doesn't matter. Your kids have to execute, but it's your kids' talent that does it. But you have to decide who you want to shoot it. Against Connecticut, it was Devontae. Against Tulsa, it was Caleb. The next time it'll be somebody else, but it's always going to be somebody else. It's not just that guy. There's a lot of guys you could have put there, but you have to decide which one. So we work on those a lot this time of year, and whether it's now or conference tournament, NCAA tournament, who knows what the future holds. But I think all coaches work on late game situations, 2-for-1s at the end of the half. Timeout, you haven't used your use or lose it timeout, you call timeout, you're gonna hold it for the last shot, what are you gonna run? You know, we did that against Tulsa, and Bryson got a dunk off the pass from Dejan. I think that was Tulsa, Temple, I think it was Temple. But no, it was Tulsa. It was Tulsa at the end of the first half. So there's a million things that you need to work on, and you have to really get your kids to focus because they can't see what coaches see. You know, I see where those situations could occur, and I want us to at least have seen it on the court. So when I draw it on the whiteboard, they'll have some kind of recognition with it.
We'll go back to Joseph Duarte from the Chronicle. Joseph, go ahead, sir.
Kelvin, if I'm not mistaken, this stretch between Saturday's game to Tulane, it's probably one of the longer that you've had recently to, you know, get guys, you know, some rest, maybe some practice time, that sort of stuff. I was wondering how players are feeling physically, you know, now that you've had a month or so since the, you know, the COVID return, and are you seeing the positives in that and how they're performing, how they're feeling out there on the court physically?
Yeah, well, this time of year we cut down our practice time a lot. You know, we get into the meat and potatoes. You know, sometimes you do drill work that's important early in the year Whereas late in the year, it becomes a little bit mundane. So like I have today's practice plan already written up because we met, and everything we're going to work on today is just meat and potatoes. You know, we know Tulane's going to run that matchup zone. You know, the only reason zones work is you miss shots. You know, their zone would be really good if we miss shots. It's like our zone was really against Tulsa because they missed shots. So try to get the ball in your hands of your best shooters. If you have early quick ball movement, you're going to get shots. But that's why I believe in a contingency plan. Our contingency plan is the second and third shot. So, but that requires effort. And we work on offensive rebounding. I don't bring out the bubble this time of year. I mean, we're #1 offensive rebounding percentage team in the nation. I don't think I need to bring the bubble out. I think they're getting it. But there's some guys that are a little more inconsistent than others. But, you know, we had an antigen test yesterday. We had a COVID test today. The antigen test, you get the results back quickly. The COVID test, you know, I haven't heard the results yet. I think we have about 7 people that are testing right now, including coaches. Most of our coaches have had it. I think Coach White and I are the only ones that haven't. But, you know, we met for about an hour this morning. Everybody wears a mask. When Jeff comes in my office, if I know somebody's coming in, I put my mask on. I don't wear it when I'm by myself. But, yeah, it's just, you're doing things this time of year. Like when I was going to bed last night, I was thinking, I just heard, I think Kellen called and told me that Tim Jankovic had tested positive. Means he's going to be 10 out 10 days. Shaka tested positive. He's out 10 days. You know, I tested a while ago. I haven't gotten result. Who knows? I mean, it's just, but you know what? That's why it's really, really important to control what you can control. You know, I coach my basketball team to the best of my abilities every day. I try my hardest. And that's all I'm going to continue to do is try to get these kids ready to compete. Our next game is Thursday as of what time is it? 11:34 on Tuesday morning. We're preparing to play Tulane, but who knows? It's there's a lot of curves and bends and ice on the roads and bridges with ice. You never know what's ahead of you.
We'll go back to Chris Gardner, please. Chris, go ahead.
Coach, what is your philosophy on fouling when you're up 3 late in the ball game?
My philosophy is my gut. The game will tell me what to do. The last time we were in that situation was Wichita State, Rob Gray's senior year. What's the kid's name that's playing for, I don't even know who he's playing for. I think, who is he playing for? The 6'6" guard they had, the shooter.
Landry Shamet?
What?
Landry Shamet?
Yeah, Shamet. We were up 2, maybe we were up 3. And one of the assistants, I can't remember which one, said, do you want to foul here? I said, I thought about it. I said, no, that's not foul. I switched Galen onto him because I figured that's who they would have shoot it, because he could go get a shot at 6'6", but you know, Galen was about 6'1", but Galen's wingspan was almost 6'7", and Galen had exceptionally large hands. And if you remember, Galen blocked a lot of shots at the end of games, and I knew that Galen was going to extend and contest. So I based this decision on that. That's why I didn't foul then. Now, that doesn't mean the next time I won't. Now, some coaches are going to not foul no matter what. Some guys will foul no matter what. I'm in the camp that the situation will tell me what to do.